once again from the night of Talk and Fight here as we join the Friday night panel crew. Grumpy Graham, Mike Orr, Lou Eisen. And we got to start off with a story involving Lou because it's got a lot to do with publishing and a lot of guys who have a lot of stories to say about boxing would love to know your story. Like you went
Well,
through.
yeah, this my story's got. I'm surprised how many hits it got on LinkedIn. Um, but so I wanted to publish my book. I wanted to have a book published that I wrote called "Boxing's Greatest Controversies."
Yep.
25 of the world's most controversial fights, as I picked them.
Yep.
Well, I'm a first-time author, so I thought I'd gone to one person who was well known for publishing books, boxing books, but then he was a bit hesitant after. So he said, go to Amazon. And I paid them 500 Canadian, I think it was. And they said they would do it. And then they kept changing their name and finally changed it to Native Books. And every time I would get a manuscript back, it would have mistakes in it that I had not put in. Like, obviously I had mistakes and I would admit to those, but and when I say mistakes, I mean like, footnotes, the number on the footnote is supposed to be in superscript. It's supposed to be above the letter. Well, this was bigger than the word before it. So if the word was 12 font, the footnote number was like 18 font.
Wow.
And I said, that's not how you do it. And the guy said, I know how to do it. I said, you can't even speak English. And so this went on 4 or 5 times. Finally, when I spoke with Nigel Collins, he suggested, and I sent those chapters to his publisher. And his publisher said, your book needs formatting and editing. It's good. But he said, what they've done is worthy of a grade 4 class. So,
wow.
So I said they wanted to make me a deal to give them one last chance. And he said, are you stupid? 5 times in a row, they've made it worse. Why, come on, Charlie Brown, kick the football again. I promise this time I'm not lying. So I said, no, I want a refund. And they said, yeah, if you read the contract, we don't give refunds. And I said, right. But my lawyer said that the contract, everyone gives refunds, and it doesn't say that in the contract, and you didn't live up to the contract. Oh, now you're mentioning lawyers, and So they went on about this. You really want to take this to court? It's going to cost you millions. And I said, no, the lawyer is my cousin. I said, you guys could just pay me the 500
there you go.
Canadian, or or my lawyer can get an indictment, close you down, and you won't do any business. Which I learned later on from my lawyer is no point because they're broke anyways. So they sent me a refund. They sent me a refund sheet, which I filled out. We're going to give you a refund via PayPal. Can't give it to you PayPal. It's not working. Oh, it'll be working by the end of the week. It wasn't. Can we do a cash wire transfer? Sure. Can't do that. And then I called and they said, well, we'll get you the payment in the next 2 to 4 months. And they put me through to a guy in finance. Everyone I spoke to before was British, although the company's in LA. And then the guy from finance had a southern drawl. And he said, who is this? And I said, I'm, book. And I sent a refund. I don't give a S about your book or you and your effing life. You took advantage of us. How? Well, you used our services. And I said, I'm looking for a peaceful way to resolve this. Well, F you. I said, well, you're not really a conversationalist, are you? So I said to him, can I just say one thing? Because what these people like to do, Graham, is we're going to talk really quick and really fast while you're talking so you can't get a word and then we're going to hang up. So I said to him, I just want to say something. I said, this is not a threat. My cousin, who's smarter than me, who's a lawyer, oh, now you're threatening me. No, I'm not threatening you. I just said, he said to me, if I was smart, I would let you publish the book. Right? I would have the original manuscript I sent, and they would have what you did. And they could just see all the dumb mistakes. For instance, the mistakes that for the beginning of a chapter, you didn't think putting Dempsey after Jack was, what does it matter? Well, it matters because that's his name. So there were millions of mistakes like that, and it kept getting worse.
Wow.
and you would talk to them, and I would say this specific thing. I said, this author, Ron Ross, is a friend of mine. You know, his name is not Don Boss. It's Ron Ross. I wrote it out for you in 35 font and sent it to you. Still got it wrong. And I said, you know, footnotes when you mention a book or newspaper are supposed to be in italics. No, they're not. That's, you read the Chicago rules of writing. That's what it is. You don't put them in bold, you put them in italics. But that's just your opinion. So it was just a nightmare. So they called me again yesterday, and my wife just said, just ignore them. You're not going to get the money back. And that's why I went online and said, don't go to Native Publishing. And I've spoken to other people who've used them. They take your money, but they don't publish your book. And only reason we watch your show is because of one, Mike, and two, Tim Witherspoon. Mike is in the center of the. Yes, I see that. I know I'm ugly, but
I showed it to Derek James, former boxer and now trainer.
Yes. So essentially, that's the story. So I've spoken with McFarland Publishing. A friend of mine, Colleen Aycock, who's written a lot of books, put me in touch with a lot of publishers, and McFarland was great, and some of the other ones were too. And they came back and said, like the book, most books are 100,000 words. Yours 233,000. So out of the 25 chapters, you're going to have to cut at least 15. That's great. And he said, and just shorten it up. And he said, what I mean by shorten it up is, for instance, we know Fritzy Zivic was a dirty fighter, but in the chapter, you mention it 15 times. That's not necessary. In the first paragraph, you say Fritzy Zivic, a well-known dirty fighter. That's it. You don't need to repeat it. Great, thank you. Getting direction. And so we'd love to look at it again. So I said, that's wonderful. But these people from Amazon were just a nightmare.
Wow. Who knew? And now the good news is, boxing fans, Lou's been generous enough to do all those shows on Sunday and provide us with most of those controversies on Talkin' Fight. So on the bright side, we all know what those controversies are.
Right.
So anyway.
The only thing to figure out is why someone like me, who's supposedly smart, was stupid enough to do this.
Yeah, I was told 2 decades ago, not kidding, 2 decades ago, never, ever pay anyone in advance for book publishing rights, film rights.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rights. You're right. Graham, all this week, my cousins have called me. Hey, schmuck, is this the idiot that paid the money to the publisher beforehand? Why don't you just go out in the street somewhere and give somebody some money and say, publish my book? How stupid are you? And I said, well, the other person was a legitimate publisher. Right. And he recommended you to these people. But I thought you were born with a brain. But I guess, having known you for over 60 years, I was sadly mistaken. Because the day they handed out brains, you were sleeping in as usual. And you probably took some doughy pastry instead. And that was good enough for your head. And you ended up doing this. Don't do it again. And I won't.
Well,
yeah, no, it's a sad story. It really is. But the good news is you've related a lot of those stories online here, and we appreciate it. Right. In the meantime, while we all sink deep, Mike, what do we got coming up?
We got some fights this weekend. First, shout out to everybody leaving comments in the section here. Shout out to Derek James. Thank you for tuning in again this week. Shout out to Miss Bitch. Blessings, yes, from Stanko Bitch Media. Welcome guys to the show. Let's get into it, man. We got lots of boxing this weekend. We want to start this one off. This is one that I've been waiting for. Richardson Hitchens. Jose Zepeda, this one, WBC Silver and IBF North American Super Lightweight titles up for grabs, guys. World-rated Super Lightweight, Richard Hitchens is set to battle it out with Jose Zepeda for the WBC Silver and IBA North America Super Lightweight titles. Coming September 23rd at the Carib Royale in Orlando will resonate with the roars of fans and thuds of these gloves, guys. The Brooklyn-based prodigy Hitchens recently showcased his boxing talent at Madison Square Garden, flooring New Jersey's John Bouts, with an unblemished record of 16-0 and 7 KOs. He's currently ranked number 6 with the WBO and number 7 with the IBF in that 140-pound rankings. Hitchens voiced his enthusiasm, stating, and I quote, "I'm excited to finally be back in action and prove I'm that top dog of 140-pound division. After this performance, I'll show you I'm ready for anyone." Jose Zepeda, with an impressive record of 36-3, with 27 wins coming by way of knockout, stands tall as a formidable challenge for Hitchens, the Californian veteran, having previously taken swings at world titles in both 135 and 140-pound categories, is hungry to ascend the ranks to revive his world championship aspirations. And he quotes, "That's it for me. My last opportunity, and a big one," Zepeda remarked, acknowledging the gravity of this match. The night is not solely about the super lightweights, though. The welterweight division will be also graced by Jessica McCaskill, the reigning WBA and WBC champion, will face Sandy Ryan in a bout where 3 titles are on the line. McCaskill, familiar with the taste of victory, is setting her eyes on another win, while Ryan, the WBO belt holder, is eager to leave a mark on the boxing world. Yes, there's more action to anticipate, guys. Austin Emma Williams will put his skills to the test against Steve Rolls, further elevating the already exhilarating lineup. Williams, after his triumphant bout in London, is inching closer to a world title shot, while Rolls, with a commendable record, is determined to prove that he's the man. Williams remarked his own growth, quote, "Tremendous advancement have occurred in all areas of my life. September 23rd will be a display of brilliance, dedication, and laser focus." Rolls confident and composed response. He has never fought anyone as a pro. With my experience, that will play a big role in me winning this fight, end quote. So, guys, this one, you're not going to want to miss it. Conor Benn is set to step back into the ring this Saturday in Orlando, Florida. It's been over a year since Ben's previous fight. The accomplished British fighter, with a record of 21-0 with 14 KOs, will officially restart his journey as he prepares to fight Mexican super welterweight Rodolfo Sinalota Ozorco. And he is 32-3-3 with 24 wins coming by way of knockout at Carib Royale in Orlando, Florida, featuring as the co-main event on Saturday, September 23rd. And despite being just 24, Orozco brings ample experience to the table, having started his professional journey at a tender age of 16, guys. With an imposing height of 6 foot 1 inch, powerful Orozco boasts a 24 knockout win right here in his career, and has been victorious in his last 2 fights with back-to-back stoppages, which includes a triumph in the 4th round in Mexico City in June against Ilan Jerez. So I can't wait to see this. However, against Ben, Orozco is taking an important step forward, as Ben is eager to showcase a standout performance from his hiatus. Back in April, Ben faced a temporary suspension, which began on March 15th, causing his earlier scheduled fight with Chris Eubank Jr. last October to be delayed. But the Destroyer was subsequently vindicated in July by the UKAD and the WBC. His temporary ban was removed after a thorough review by an independent national anti-doping panel. Matchroom sports chief Eddie Hearn remarked, "Conor Benn is back in action, and I'm eager to watch him continue his journey. Although he's geared up for a major fight, his coach Tony Sims is keen to reinforce him against a respectable challenger like Rodolfo Orozco. Conor's current form in training is astonishing, and I am thrilled about his upcoming appearance in Florida." Conor Benn also expressed, "I stand unbeaten both inside the ring and in spirit. This Saturday marks my road to vindication." Post that the 147 to 160-pound division should be wary. "I am a man on a mission, and my goal is clear." What are your thoughts?
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank
Just one
God you
question.
stopped, Mike.
Conor Ben can punch.
I thought Joe Joyce was fighting Zhang
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yes, he
He is.
is.
He is.
He is. That's a
Oh.
different card.
Oh, okay.
Different card. We will be talking about that one.
He's fighting that tall Chinese.
Yeah.
Yes, he is fighting.
Oh,
Zhang.
Joe Joyce is going to get clobbered. But anyway, let's go. Let's go back.
He needs some help.
Yes. Let's go back to what Mike was saying in earlier, though. Hitchens versus Zepeda, right?
Yeah.
I got Hitchens on that one, by the way. But I don't know about Lou or Tim if they've got a comment on that one. But
I like my boy Hitchens. I'm going to
Yeah.
say
Me too.
I believe he's got a lot to show in this division. I think that super lightweight division has yet to really take notice of what this kid's ability is. He's very, very talented. I believe that he has every possibility of coming out the victor here.
I agree, and he's not taking easy fights. He's
No.
taking guys that are tough, and he's got his head on straight in and out of the ring. He's a great fighter, and it's a privilege to watch him work.
Definitely.
I have not yet seen him fight, so I'll make a comment when I do.
what was the other fight that was? You
Well, we got McCaskill.
no. Before Joyce and Zhang, what was the other fight you were mentioning? Because I have a. Wait. Now, sorry, I'll tell you. It was Conor Ben.
Yeah.
And I have been upset with Matt Troom and Conor Ben for a few weeks now, at least minimally. I can't believe that Conor Ben is allowed to fight in Florida, because I'll tell you why. Because this upsets boxing fans. Boxing fans are out there going, "Hey man, this guy's been banned from boxing because he's taken certain drugs." Oh, wait, no. They've lifted that ban. Oh, wait, no. They've appealed that ban. Oh, but in the meantime, he's going to go fight in Florida. Now, who do you think? I hate to say it, but he's managed by
Eddie Hearn,
exactly.
the criminal.
I'm sitting there going, "Wow, I can't believe this." Like, I don't mind Conor Ben as a straightforward boxer. Like he's undefeated, a good boxer if he weren't on drugs.
Right, and it's been proven irrefutably he's on drugs. He failed several tests.
Yep.
And so it's similar to court. Well, we saw you beat up that old lady, and I'm appealing the conviction. Okay, well, I guess you can let me out now. No, a conviction's a conviction. You did drugs. The fact is, there's no unified body in all of boxing.
That's called cheating.
That is called cheating. You're damn right. Tim Witherspoon was the world heavyweight champion and didn't take drugs.
No.
He abided by the rules. This guy cheated, and he's getting rewarded for it because Florida, of course, Ron DeSantis, was going after Disney. Anyways, so he's being awarded in Florida.
It's all about money.
Yeah. Eddie Hearn had the money. How much will it take to get him a fight here? That's fine. And this is the thing that kills me about boxing, Tim and Mike and Graham. The majority of the major fights in the world are in the United States. 90% of the money in boxing is generated from the U.S., if not more. And yet foreign promoters and foreign sanctioning bodies are allowed to come in and do what they want. That shouldn't happen. There should be one sole Central American body that says, "No, Conor Ben, we're not letting you in. You cheated."
Right.
They should. Yeah, they shouldn't. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tim. You're the pro on this.
No,
one.
I'm just saying. Not really. I am. But I think that there should be, like, if you make it do a crime, you should go to jail for a certain amount of time and then release and then let you out, and then you should be able to go on with your life.
Right.
So I think there should have been a period that they suspend him for, then let him come back. That's just my opinion. Don't ruin his whole life, even though what he was doing was wrong. Let him get off of that stuff, and let him give him a grace period. Let him come back.
Right. I feel the same way about Mike Tyson. He paid his debt to society. Leave him the hell alone now. don't bother him. And
Yeah.
this goes,
Great point.
and this goes with, he's not the only I mean, this happens of a lot of Eddie Hearn's boxers, and they get caught. And it's my father would say, don't deny it. Just come out. I did it. I'm sorry. I was wrong. It won't happen again.
More than one boxer got caught with the
Eddie Hearn?
enhancement.
I
Eddie
think
Hearn,
four.
Daniel Dubois comes to mind,
Alicia
Yeah.
Baumgartner.
and who's the girl?
And the tall Finnish guy.
They know what they're doing. They
Okay.
know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They know
they
what they're
do.
doing.
You're responsible by law. You're responsible for what goes into your body.
Right.
And in boxing, you're responsible for that.
Yeah,
And
they know what they're doing.
yeah, and this is one of the things I learned from a guy Tim knew well, Nazim Richardson. Nazim Richardson was the trainer of a lot of guys, but he's trainer of world champions. But when he had Shane Mosley was supposed to fight Margarito. And he went into the dressing room for Margarito to see the hand wraps. And they said, the hands are wrapped, get out. They're signed off. And he said, no, I have to see them. And they said, no, you don't. And so he left. He went back to the hotel. HBO said to Margarito, you got to change this. Otherwise, you're not getting paid. Or you're having the fight. So Richardson came back, and Margarito's trainer said, your guy's going to lose. And he said, maybe, but not because of my mistake. Take your wraps off. And that's when they found the hard plastic pads. And Nazim Richardson said that was the only time. That wasn't the only time I did that. That was the only time it was on TV. He said, I can't tell you how many times where before a fight, he said, where I've said to him, I want to see the urine test and stuff. None of your business. Well, and he would say, no fight then. You give the money back to the crowd then. You can't get away with this. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. did this countless times, where he took drugs and was caught, and he was protected by Jose Suleiman. It goes on in boxing all the time. Eddie Hearns had 4 in a row. I can't remember the name of that tall Finnish fighter who just got knocked out by AJ.
One of our commentators just said Alicia Baumgartner was the.
That's it. And she denied it. They all deny it.
They all deny it.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because she apparently
100%.
She tested positive before her fight.
Wow.
Tested negative 2 times after the fight. So it makes me think that the training regimen just messed up on their timing.
Yes. They're not even doing it correctly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're not doing it correctly. Canelo got caught. People get caught.
Wow. Canelo was on it.
Yeah, Canelo got caught, and he said it was the food I ate. Well,
right.
You're responsible for the food you eat.
Yep.
And the thing that upset me with Pacquiao is people would say he was on steroids, but Pacquiao voluntarily got tested all the time, and they were surprise tests. And when someone like Mayweather said he's on steroids or someone else, he went to court and sued them. In other words, he said, show the evidence, produce the evidence.
Yeah.
And he said, I've never done that. I don't need to.
Well, not to take away from anybody else on this card, we've talked about Ben. Yeah, he's gonna be a machine coming through. We know he's got a lot to prove. He's gonna come out hard hitting. He's gonna come out fast and just try to end this. He just wants to get it over with. But opening the card, our girl Jasmine Artiga, 10-0-1. That super flyweight division is taking on Josefina Vega. That's to open up this card. We've had her on the show before. We've interviewed her on our Female Fridays. Also, Giovanni Estella is on this one, taking on Luis Carabello Ramos, and Khalil Cole. He's a former knockout of the week winner for his fight against none other than James Quitter. That was a big one. KO in the 3rd round to win our prestigious knockout of the week award. So honestly, a great amount of fights on this card, and this is just the beginning because we also have the other one. We also have our Joe Joyce card.
Joyce, the last time Joe Joyce fought like James Joyce.
Yeah.
He fought a stupid fight. He stood in front of a guy who's not mobile. He didn't have to, and took a tremendous beating.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you right now, from that 256 pounds that he weighed in their last fight, he tipped the scales at a blistering 281 and 1/4 pounds, just 6 pounds under the weight of Zheli Zhang, who weighed in at an astounding 287 and a quarter, which is literally 10 pounds heavier than he was his last fight against Joe
Wow.
Joyce.
Well,
Mm.
that means Joyce was undisciplined and unfocused and didn't train as well as he should. And also Zhang is still 6'6", 6'7", right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But Joyce is 6'6", but I don't think he can carry that weight.
Well-
So going into that prior fight, Joyce was unbeaten.
Yeah.
He got beaten by Zhang, as he admits now, because he wasn't really prepared for a southpaw clobbering his right eye.
They don't have the skills. That's the really, I hate to cut you off. They don't have the skills.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't care about the weight.
He tried to outbox an Olympian.
But well, all I was about to say was,
I'm sorry.
if Joyce loses this match, he's done. His career. I mean, I hope they drop him out of the heavyweight division, because if he's clobbered in this round, I'm sure he's going to get clobbered. All I'm saying is if he does get clobbered and loses, Zhang is on his way to the top, and Joe Joyce, despite all the British people telling us how great Joe Joyce is, if he gets beat again, he's not.
They keep saying how great he is.
He isn't.
They don't know boxing. I mean, a lot of them know box. I mean, they supporting him. They supporting him, and they don't want him to lose. But they're not looking at the stuff like boxers like me looking. I'm looking at he will be great if they get somebody to change his style and everything. So we could keep talking about this fight, that fight, his weight, this weight, and it all boils down to him blocking punches, doing the right thing with his defense and everything. And all this will be out the way. Nobody will be criticizing him or anything. That's the real problem. Why can't people talk about that? There's inexperienced management and stuff, or they good at whatever, but how come they're not straightening his ability to punch and defense, but they're talking about everything else?
That's correct. That's a great point, because as you know, Tim, Joe Joyce's main skill is that he can take a good shot to the chin.
Yeah.
And he's got a gas tank that just doesn't end.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we talked about that.
Yep. And take punishment. In the end, that's not good for a fighter. That's a short shelf life.
That's
and
right.
He doesn't have skill. Tim and Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes were skilled guys. They were artists like Cezanne or Picasso or Matisse. Joe Joyce is a guy who walks in straight forward and says, I hit you, you hit me, whoever's standing at the end wins. Right. That's not boxing.
Let me say this real quick. Larry Holmes wouldn't be able to teach nobody. But let me tell you this. There's guys out there that was in good shape and they was determined to win. Ali, you don't really see Ali sitting there relaxing and boxing. He moved like he was in good shape. Larry Holmes depended on his jab, right hand. No defense. He had no defense or nothing, and he never slipped a punch. He always took punches, but he was successful. So there is a lot of guys out there that make it, but very few. Now, guys, there's that like me. I had skills, and during our times, that's what got me through was my skills. But they were in better shape. So you got to really look at the situation. You got to look at the situation because Ali float like a butterfly, and he whipped you with his speed. But if he was less in shape, hard on him. And also with Larry Holmes, just have a few things in his repertoire. Just a few jab, right hand, and he had a big heart. They all have big hearts. But nowadays you see like Joyce, they don't really have too much. They're big and strong. And the Chinese guy, he's China, right?
Yeah.
China.
He's going to need help down the line too, but he got heart too. He comes in.
He's old. He's going to age out before anything. That's the problem with him.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow.
Herkovic, whatever, and he got ripped off on that.
All they have to do is bring somebody in and straighten this mess out. All of them, you see them all doing it. Yeah. The Chinese guy, Joe Joyce, Anthony Joshua can't even block jabs. He's like this. Deontay Wilder was fighting like this, even though he was devastating with that right hand. Then he met his match. He met his
He got
match.
lucky.
Little things is what these guys need.
I gotta tell you, Tim. This week I was reading a book about W.C. Hines, Bill Hines, a sports writer from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Okay.
And he had an article. He said, if you never saw Willie Pep or Sugar Ray Robinson or Joe Louis fight, don't ever talk to me about boxing.
Okay.
Because you know nothing. And this was written in 1950 or 1949. So he said, I saw Sugar Ray Robinson do things that took my breath away 40 years ago, and I still haven't caught my breath. He did things that you just couldn't fathom a boxer could do. He said he was like Nureyev, like a skilled dancer. He said same with Willie Pep. He said Ray Robinson would play with you, and then he would say that's it and knock you out. Tremendous skill, a lot of training, and like you're a skilled fighter. You got by on skills, ability, but also tremendous brain power. These guys today don't have that, and you see that. They don't have that. It doesn't exist with Joe Joyce or Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or even Tyson Fury. I don't think any of those guys, Tim, not to be brown nosing, but I don't think any of those guys go 5 rounds with you.
Thank you. I got to be in good shape, though.
Yeah, but I think in your prime, they don't land a punch on you.
It's a Hollywood thing. Like picking guys just because the fighter won, they'll pick the trainer. But it's not necessarily now these days. Like you pick the trainer because the fighter won, like Spence and like Crawford. His trainer was 7 wins and 14 losses. You can see in his skills, and I don't have nothing against him. We on the show. We got to tell the truth. You can see in his skills that he's good offensively, but when somebody put the pressure on him, they really can't. They really don't know what to do, especially Spence. So, but with his train, all these other boxers will go to him because of Spence winning or Crawford winning. Now he got a whole line of guys coming to him. They not really knowing that this guy is okay, but he won't be able to take you all the way unless you got natural skills that'll help you. That's just my opinion, man.
There were 2 world champions in the 5th. Louis Rodriguez. Slick Willie Pastrana.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, is he from New York or Philly?
He was from New Orleans. Willie Pastrana.
New Orleans, okay.
And so Willie Pastrana and Ralph Dupas was the other guy, and they had a trainer named Whitey Esnow in New Orleans, and he gave them, when they were 16 each, he had them sign with Angelo Dundee because he said, I don't have any more to teach you. There's nothing I can teach you. And Angelo said to them, I can teach you a lot. You'll get there, but you're only 16, so you got to be patient. There's a lot to learn. And there was a time, for instance, when Pastrana got a draw against Archie Moore, and he was really upset. And Angelo said, it's Archie Moore. Getting a draw against Archie Moore is like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
You understand? It's one of the greatest boxing minds of the past 1,000 years. The fact that you were given a gift draw, you should be happy about that. Right. So, as Tim was saying, these guys aren't taught correctly. They just want to move them into the big money while protecting them. And
I believe that's because some of these trainers, they just got that chip on their shoulder, like, they don't want to let go of theirs. They don't want to admit that they don't have nothing. They have nothing left.
Right. And who's the Puerto
getting that money too?
It's not money, right? It's hard to give up that money and also admit that you're out of your league.
But you think they're going to give up $1 million or $2 million just to let another guy come in? They're not going to say, "Hey, can you get him? He's better than me." They're not going to do that.
No.
Well, this goes back hundreds of years. I mean, when Benny Kid Paret died after fighting Griffith the 3rd time.
Okay, Benny Kid Paret. Yep.
Yeah, he had nothing left. Fulmer had beaten him up, knocked him down 6 times.
Wow.
3 months earlier, and Paret was having nosebleeds, brain bleeds. We didn't know what he was having, but he had ear bleeds. And his trainer, who was a mob guy, said, "You can't go to the doctor because if it gets to the newspaper, they'll stop the fight." And so they fought, and he died after. And he was paid $40,000 for the fight, and it disappeared. And his wife said, someone asked his wife, he's getting $45,000-$50,000 since he became champ, and he's in the top 3 welterweights in the world. How can he be broke? And she said he was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. And the trainer said, you got to fight again in 3 weeks. or in 3 months. And he said, Fulmer just knocked me down 6 times. I can't fight again. Fulmer took a year off and never won again. And
That's really bad back then.
yeah, and they wouldn't do it. So these guys should have taken more time off. And when you look at a guy like Joe Joyce, my question, and I'm sure it's your question, Tim, and Graham and Mike, if I had one question to say to Joe Joyce, I would say, what are you going to do different than you did last time? You said you were surprised he was a southpaw. You think southpaws just started to exist?
That's easy fighting with southpaws. I started out sparring with a southpaw, Randy Mack. That's easy stuff.
Right.
Maybe for somebody else is complicated. That's easy stuff, man.
But he said it like southpaws came from Mars.
Right.
Like southpaws and boxing.
That shows you what the people around. That shows you what the education that's around them. When you say that, come on, man.
Why I love Terrence Crawford.
Let me interject on that one. Zhang just said, I believe just yesterday at the press conference, he admitted, he said, I'm going to continue pounding his right eye because I know that's how I can beat him. So he's up front. He's saying, Joe Joyce can be beaten. You know how? My left is just going to pound his right eye and is going to pound it closed.
I expect to see a different Joyce, though. I expect to see.
I don't see. I'm telling you the truth. I don't
not different skills, just a different approach.
I think it's better, slower Joyce as well.
Yes, we're going to see that slower Joyce that just marches forward, where he tries to capitalize every time he's got his man's back on the ropes. That's where he lets go and he tries to throw those unanswered punches, those heavy mitts. And for honest, I like Joyce. When I saw him in that last match against Zhang, and he came out weighing 20 pounds less than he did any fight that I've seen him before that, I knew there was something wrong. I knew we weren't going to see the same Joyce we always see. He's known as the juggernaut. He comes forward like a train. He leans on your guy, and all he does is throw those big fists, and he's got the chin to take it. But you know what? Zhang showed us he doesn't have the eyes to take it. So,
yeah, the thing is, I remember sitting with Lennox Lewis when I worked for him, watching some fighters, and one person was fighting a southpaw, and they kept moving to the right. And Lennox looked at me and said, "This isn't rocket science. Why is this so difficult to understand?"
Yeah.
He said, if a person's got a tremendous right hand, you circle to your right, away from it. If they're a southpaw, you circle to your left. Yeah. Why is it? He said, this isn't a secret. This isn't a state secret. Why don't people know this?
There's much more to it, too, than fighting the southpaw. You also got to get on the outside of his lead right hand, like I did on this show before. There's a lot more than just staying there right in here. You got to get on this side and go back and make the left southpaw.
Yeah, you got to throw those right hands down the middle, and you got to get your lead foot outside his lead foot.
Yeah. I think we're looking for more of a swarming strategy from Joyce, like he's done in the past. It's the only way. Like, both Joyce and Zhang, they're both the same height. They're both the same size. I believe what Joyce might have like a 1-inch reach disadvantage. I believe. I think Zheli Zhang has like an 81 or 81.5 inch reach. Joyce is sitting around an 80. So honestly, he's gonna need to just come forward, stay off that left hand, and just use his weight.
I don't think that's the way to beat Zhang, though. And someone just mentioned Usyk. I don't think squaring up against Zhang is the right way to beat him.
But let me ask the question then. Okay, first of all, I think Zhang's going to beat Joyce again. I think Joyce's career is over. But do you think Zhang will then go into the ring against Usyk?
I don't think he's got a chance against Usyk, but why not?
Zhang will step into the ring against anybody.
I mean, to me, it's more exciting than Tyson Fury, because if Tyson Fury goes into the ring against Ngannou, whether he wins or not is irrelevant. I hope they pull his belt. I hope they strip him.
I agree.
Right?
I agree 1,000%. And our friend Rick Glazer said this.
I'll be there. I'll be there when they fight.
Yeah, well, but Rick had a great
Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
I'll be there at the fight. George Foreman, a lot of the former boxers, they're going to be there.
Challenge your winner.
Huh?
Challenge.
Listen, I'll do an exhibition. I'm in really good shape. I hit the hammer, I do everything and stuff like that. But a lot of this stuff is about the lack of skills, man. That's all it is. We talk all we want to talk, but it's the lack of these skills. Joe Joyce, they don't move their shoulders and move in. They don't block the old time pretty stuff. Slip, bing, bang. You don't see, all you see them doing is this, getting hit, getting their hands up. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm watching a fight and I'm saying, wow, he don't even move his shoulders out the way. He don't come in like that, throw a punch. He don't block, hook.
Right.
You know, 1-2, back to defense. You don't see that 1-2 and their hands here and they get hit. So a lot of people are not talking about the specific things that these guys. Now we talking on the show and you talking, you know, boxing talk, but I'm talking actual stuff that I know for a fact that's causing these guys to have these negatives. Right. I'm telling you.
Well, Tim,
I don't know everything, but I'm telling you, he don't know how to block, and they all like this getting hit. And I'll be saying, oh, it's a shame. Damn. I'll be like, oh,
but
I'll be
Tim,
doing
when
that.
it comes to being successful in the ring, you do know everything. And when you
No, I don't.
You do. And when
I know enough. I don't know everything.
When you fought Holmes, you could see during the fight, as a viewer, Holmes getting really frustrated because he couldn't land a square shot on you. There's no one around today other than Terrence Crawford. There's no heavyweight around today that can do that. There isn't. That can you know.
They can if you teach them. They can if you keep drilling them, like you go to school.
Teach them.
That's why we keep talking about these young heavyweights who are coming up through the ranks, and we keep saying these guys know their technique. They know their defense.
Yeah,
they know it's paramount. They're listening to our show. They know.
Jared Anderson. Yeah.
What you mean?
Jared Anderson's a good example.
He tightened his defense up, but there's more. He could add a little bit more too. But there's nobody that's going to really affect him because he do keep this tight. But there's more to it than just this.
Don't forget, Sam. Jared Anderson is only 22.
Right. He says, "I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to learn." I'm not a finished product.
That's true. That's true. He right. You right about that.
He's got a lot to learn.
But he should know that stuff by now, though. He should know it by now. But he's not going to learn anymore unless he find the right person.
The problem is that we don't get to see him in front of the proper pedigree of opponents.
Okay.
Right?
Because he's only 22.
We've seen examples of his defense. We've seen examples of him being able to, change up the game plan when it's not working out to his favor. He listens to his trainers. He listens to his corner, and you can see that he's got a lot to learn. He's only 22, which means, if he gets the right people training him the right defense, then honestly, we got a recipe for success. We got a recipe for one of the greatest heavyweights that is ever going to grace this game.
Who's the guy that did good to him? Who was that fighter that really did good against Jared? Who was that? Remember, he was doing real good.
Charles Martin.
Okay, he did really good against him, right?
Yeah, Ali got knocked down by Sonny Banks, who was an average fighter, and Henry Cooper.
Okay.
But eventually he got up, he realized what he did wrong, he fixed the mistake. But I want to go back to something Graham said. I agree. I think Fury, this is the joke of the WBC, which I always say stands for We Be Criminals, because Fury should be stripped of his title. He hasn't defended it in 18 months. And Usyk said, I'll fight you. And what do you want? 50-50? You want 65-35. You want 70-30. I'll do 70-30 split. 75-25, I don't. Now you want 85-15. Sorry, I'm not giving you all the money. I'm not fighting for nothing. Right. You got to pay me. I hold all the belts. You hold one. And then Fury calls him a coward. Fury doesn't want to fight him. Fury can't beat him. Usyk's a pure boxer. Fury won't lay a glove on him.
I see him easily get beaten with the right guy. I'm telling you, like I told you on the show before, that movement has got everybody. There's no trainer out there that movement to me is nothing, because all you got to do is go to his body with your jab. Like I talked before, hit his shoulder, hit this. They don't like when they movement, they love their movement. They love their movement. As soon as you stop that movement, that aggravates them. The old time trainer taught me it, and it actually happened in the ring. If you stop trying to hit this, and as soon as he move, hit that hard as you can. Hit the arms. By the 3 more rounds, he's going to be like frustrated, and then you're going to be able to hit him on his head. And these trainers ain't telling these fighters to do that. Why go for the head? If he moved this way, hit that. Whatever closer to you, try to take your hand, try to break his arms, all that, and be in shape. You got to be in shape to put that pressure on him. I know how to do it.
Tim.
Especially with Fury, he's his last fight being Derek Chisora back in December of last year. Other than Derek Chisora, like the last few guys that he's fought has been Chisora, White, Wilder twice, Wallen, and then Schwartz, and then Wilder. So he's been fighting. He's been fighting the same pedigree of guys for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's going to go to an all Chisora format, by the way.
Yeah,
where he only fights Chisora. But Tim, what you said, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited because you're describing Charlie Goldman, who trained Marciano, and he said, "Take what they give you. Take what they give you. If the guy's got a great defense like Walcott, pound his arms, pound his hips, you know." And after the fight, these guys have huge hematomas on their hips, on their arms, on their sides, because Marciano would just destroy everything they had.
Because they really want you to try to hit them in their head, and that's why they move like that. I'm not want you to hit them, but that's why they move. They don't want to get hit. But when you hit them there, they get frustrated. I'm telling you, they get frustrated, and you have to be in shape to do that. Be in shape, keep hitting to the body, hit them on the arm, hit them on the shoulder. By 3 rounds, he's gonna forget about the head, and then you're gonna get the head. But they be trying to get the head all the time.
Marciano would train for 6 to 9 months. Guys don't do that anymore. Marciano would get in water up to his neck and throw punches so he could throw them as quick as he can throw them outside of the water. So when he fought a lot of guys, he broke veins in their arms, broke bones, destroyed. Some of them had hip fractures. I mean, just like Tim said. And then eventually he took away their mobility. The body never moves. And when he took away the mobility, then he could just stand there and, like Ezra Charles was a great fighter, and knock them out. And that's exactly, is this like a porn site? It's exactly.
I'm gonna have to go get my daughter.
Yeah.
No, she's at a party. I was late here. She's at a party, a school party and stuff like that. My daughter, okay?
Yeah, I understand. But I like what that guy, what the host said. Yes, Fury rests on his opponents. He knows how to lean and use his weight on his opponents.
Because he doesn't have defense. He hits. That's my man. I love him. He hits and he holds. Right? He'll go boom, 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 then grab you. He's successful. Right, where I try to change him, no, but I would tell him to try not. If he hold for just a split second, then hit, then hold for a split. No, don't hold for long periods. For me as a boxer, that's boring, you know. But he gets the job done. But the thing is, hold for a split second, then bang. Hold for a split second, then bang. Hold for a split second, then get out of there. It looks boring when he keep holding.
Yeah, it does, and
it's almost like watching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and having 2 guys lay on the mat for 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Same thing. It's the same thing. It's just we're standing up. That's it.
And you'll notice first 2 fights.
Yeah, he do win. He wins.
Yeah, Frazier Ali in the first 2 fights. Ali was great at holding Frazier behind the neck and not letting him punch. And finally, in the 3rd fight,
I know that method. Yeah, I know that.
Before the 3rd fight, Eddie Futch got in one of the greatest trainers in any sport ever, and a gentleman got in the ring with Joe at a training camp and said, "This is exactly what you do when he reaches your hand, and when he reaches with his arm. This is exactly what he do when he puts his hand behind your head." And Frazier used all those techniques, and they worked. Futch had been around for 45, 50 years, so he knew what worked. Yeah. And they also had a referee who was willing, Carlos Padilla, to do his job.
Yeah, Padilla.
You know, so, but these guys, Fury gets away with it, and he holds, and he doesn't have, I don't think, the requisite skills, and he's not fighting anyone. I mean, why doesn't the WBC? They do it to everyone else. Why don't they say to Fury, "Listen, you got to fight Usyk, or you got to fight this guy, or you lose the title."
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go.
All right, Tim.
I'll be ready next week. And everything. I've been doing other podcasts and stuff, right?
Yeah, you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been doing that in the YouTube stuff. You see, we're trying to build that up. I I'll see you guys next week, okay?
Sounds good, champ.
Well,
And I'll let you know what's going on because I'm going to Saudi Arabia. We could talk about that, all right?
Hey,
Yep.
hey,
I don't want to fly, man.
before you leave there, Tim, who you got? Zhang or Joyce?
I think Django win again because I don't
Yeah,
think
me
there's
too.
nobody around to educate Joyce enough for him to I don't even if and because he's a little heavier, that makes him maybe he might be a little bit more sluggish when he get into the ring.
absolutely.
I don't know, maybe he giving up and not telling nobody in a way, say, man, I'm gonna get paid good, but something, or maybe not. We don't know, but
We don't
he
know.
definitely
We don't know till we see him in the ring. That's
yeah,
it.
he definitely needs some help, man. These
Yeah.
guys picking trainers that was with boxers because the boxer won, and they say that guy's good because the boxer won. They doing that these days everywhere. Oh, this guy got a whole bunch of boxers, and his record was really bad, but he because of the boxer won, now he getting all that traffic, and I'm like, whoa. That boxer is just the guy that. All right, guys. See you next week, okay?
Yes,
all
definitely,
right,
champ.
all
All
right,
right.
Tim.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
You too.
See you.
See you, champ.
Okay.
You champ.
All right. Well, let me touch on the rest of this card before.
Yeah, please do. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike. There,
Yeah, no problem.
We got a bit carried away.
This one's early, guys. This one's early, 9 a.m. Eastern time. It will be shown again 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus in the States.
9 a.m. Eastern. Where the hell is it coming from?
Which fight?
This is the I believe this is the Zhang fight. It's scheduled for 9 a.m. or no? Hold on. No, 5 p.m. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had it wrong. 5 p.m. Eastern time. This one's getting underway. Yes, Joyce Zhang 2, Yard Silva in the co-feature.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good fight. Spotlight shines brightly on the main event with, Zelly Zhang set to defend that WBO interim against Joe Joyce. In the evening's co-feature, former two-time world title challenger Anthony Yard will be putting Portugal's Jorge Silva in a captivating 10-round fight. The duo first locked horns this past April. Remember, Cooper Box Arena, where Zhang clinched at WBO interim world championship. Blasting out that eye of Joe Joyce. Zhang, now based out of New York, boasts that impressive record of 25-1-1 with 20 KOs and aims to maintain his standing among the heavyweight elite. Before he does that, however, he will have to counter the formidable Joyce, who's holding that 15-1 with 14 KOs record, who is keen on regaining his lost title and returning to the top of WBO rankings. But
What title did Joyce have?
The WBO
Heavyweight title?
he had an interim champion.
Okay.
WBO interim. Yeah, so next in line, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Hang on a sec, Mike. One quick thought here.
Yeah.
A lot of the British pundits criticize the American heavyweights because they're 12-0, 15-0, 19-0. Oh, but they haven't fought anyone of pedigree or caliber. Yeah, you look at Joyce. He's only fought 16 or 17 fights.
He's fought 16 times, and he has a record of 15-1 with 14 KOs.
And he beat who was it? Parker he beat was the only named guy?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Dubois.
I'm getting a little frustrated at the way the British tend to be so condescending with respect to how their fighters, in particular, are the best in the world, and they're not. And this is why I think Zhang's going to clobber the hell out of him, and that.
Don't limit it to boxing. British are condescending about everything.
Yes, just ask Monty Python. I know.
Yeah, oh yeah. Honestly, with this
anyway, keep going, Mike. Sorry.
This fight card is stacked. Okay, this fight card is stacked with other thrilling encounters. Sam Noakes is on this one.
Sam Noakes, good fighter.
Great fighter. Pierce O'Leary. Each of these guys defending their respective Commonwealth lightweight and super lightweight titles. There's also an intriguing light heavyweight contest pitting the flamboyant Ezra Taylor against Joel McIntyre. A matchup promising, no shortage of excitement for this one, guys. Honestly, some big fights on this card. We also got Royston Barney Smith looking to stay undefeated. Moses Ituma looking to stay undefeated.
Oh,
Tommy
good guy.
Fletcher looking to stay undefeated.
Wow.
So we've got this one. This one's jammed up. And then we have Zach Parker taking on Khalid Gradia. So yeah, definitely.
Sorry, wait a minute. Back it up.
Yeah,
Zach Parker against who?
Khalid Gradia.
Gesundheit.
Exactly. Well, it's honestly, come on. Parker's gonna clobber this guy. Parker 22-1, ranked number 43, taking on the ranked 306th, who is 10-12-4. What do you guys think this one is? Is this a good one?
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
I have a question
honestly,
for you though about one of the fights.
I'm super excited for the Pierce O'Leary fight. You know, the kid's 12-0, taking on Kane Gardner. That one's for the WBC International Super Light. So definitely some great match there.
Mike,
Yeah.
you describe one of the fighters as flamboyant.
Yes, yes, I did.
Liberace was often described as flamboyant.
Yes,
Is that what
yes.
you're referring to?
Easy. We don't discriminate against who's.
Oh, I know.
No, never.
But I'm curious now because I don't have rewind. Who is the flamboyant boxer you're talking about?
Ezra Taylor.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, Ezra Taylor, guys. If you do not know who he is, Ezra Taylor is 6-0 right now. He's taking on Joel McIntyre.
Yeah.
Ezra Taylor's last fight in that light heavy division was against the guy who's on the card, Khalid Gradia. So he beat him.
We don't often mention it as much.
And now he's taking on Joel McIntyre.
But the light heavyweight division is actually pretty good in terms of like the caliber of competitiveness and entertainment.
Oh yeah,
we don't often mention it because it gets overlooked by the heavyweights and then the middleweights and cruiserweights and all that kind of stuff. But the point of the matter is on this particular card, as you just pointed out, there's some great light heavyweights in there.
Oh, like come on, Better Bivol.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys are sitting at the top, right? Lyndon Arthur sitting on the IBO World Championship right now in the light heavy.
I
So
think you should look at Michelle Obama too in terms of light heavy.
There was some pretty critical comments. I can't remember who made them, but level against Better BF the other day, because he was going up and down in weight and whether or not he could really sustain that kind of level of credibility in that weight class. Well, I know he has, and you know he has, but in the boxing world, it would seem, given the amount of people who have an opinion, they don't seem to appreciate the skills that Better Be really has, and I do, and I know you guys do, but I'm just saying I was kind of surprised that this British author was.
Well, I mean, they're always promoting their own fighters, something Canadians never do. And when Bitter BF fought that fighter, and Bitter BF's face was bleeding, the trainer Mark Ramsey said, "You're running out of rounds. The ref's going to stop it. You got to get him right now." And he went out and he got him right then. He did his job. He knew what he had to do. And the same, I can't believe I argued with people over Joe Smith. Americans, I know, oh, Joe Smith is so much better than Bitter BF. And I said, this is a colossal mismatch of epic proportions. He's going to annihilate Joe Smith.
Oh, Callum Smith, you mean? In his next fight coming up?
No, Joe Smith.
Oh, Joe Smith Jr. That fight. Oh,
and
yeah.
I used to say sometimes he fights like a great fighter, sometimes he fights like a guy named Joe Smith Jr. And he hit him so hard he rearranged his DNA. I mean,
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's really good.
I used to be stand-up, but he just annihilated him. And when I spoke to my American friend, he said, "Lucky punch. One punch is a lucky punch. 75 in a row isn't too lucky."
Right.
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. I can't wait. This is gonna be a great weekend of fights.
Yeah.
Super looking forward to it.
Yeah. Beterbiew is a great fighter, and he's not given enough respect by the British.
No,
No,
when is he fighting next? When is Bitterbeer fighting next?
He's going to be fighting Callum Smith.
Right. Okay.
Callum Smith. That one's set for January 13th next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Callum Smith.
Callum Smith, 29-1. Guys, he's ranked. Well, right now he's kind of inactive on BoxRec. His last fight was against Matthew Borlik. This one was at the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah. So, and then before that, he took on Gilbert Castillo Rivera. And then before that fight, he took on Sal Alvarez, and that was December the 19th, 2020. So Callum Smith, he's been kind of, laying in wait since that loss to Canelo.
And when's the Canelo fight coming up with Charlo?
That Canelo fight coming up with Charlo is set
September 30th, maybe?
September 30th, 8 p.m. That one will be seen on Fight TV, pay-per-view.com, Showtime pay-per-view. That one's going to be shown everywhere.
Yeah.
That honestly, from my point of view, flip of the coin. I really can't figure out who's going to win that fight. I know Jamel's got the guts and is willing to fight, but he's coming up in weight and
2 weight classes.
Yeah, and whether he can tackle in a good way, Canelo. I don't know. I really don't know.
What? He's gonna have to use his speed and those thunderous punches that he has at the end of that speed is what he's gonna have to do. But it's whether or not he can hit him.
Are they thunderous enough to nail Canelo?
No, I don't think he has the power to hit Canelo. I want to see what happens when Canelo tags him with a good right hand on the chin. I want to see if his legs wobble or if he takes it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he didn't skip leg day.
So it's a good debate to have. If you ask me, it's even Steven, flip of the coin, and let's see what happens. In other words, a good fight. Let's look forward to a good fight.
Definitely.
And Billy Joe Saunders will be watching it with one eye. So.
He won't take his eye off this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
take his eye off.
Keep him.
He definitely won't take his eye off this one, guys?
Oh, you guys. All right, we got to bolt out. It's our producer's telling us it's time's up.
All right. Well, guys, to all the Talkin' Fight fans around the world, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all the people that dropped comments today. Miss Bitch, Derek James, the host, everybody. Thank you all for dropping comments. We love it. We're here to do it for you guys, man. If you guys weren't here, we wouldn't be doing this. We got to get to work so you guys don't have to. Make sure you join us Sunday for the scorecard, knockout of the week, and much, much more. Maybe a special interview tomorrow on Knuckle Up with Jamie TKV out of the UK.
Woo!
Yes. So you won't want to miss that, guys. But you know what we have to do, man? We got to get to work. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, new topics. Until then, remember, fighting solves everything.
Good job, boys.